Cobra are known for their speed, and this year they've brought out two irons which they are certain are the longest clubs they've ever made. We've got the DS-Adapt and the DS-Adapt Max irons. So I'm going to hit them both in this video and just see how far they really go. If you stick around to the end, I'm going to hit some shots as fast as I possibly can. And see if I can record my longest ever 6-iron distance. But let's get to the video and see how they perform. So this Cobra iron has a new 360 speed shell face insert, which is going to give you 23% more face flexion. Basically what that means is the ball's going to hit the face, it's going to sort of bend in and then spring off hotter than you've ever had before. So this Cobra DS-Adapt 6-iron has got 24 degrees of loft, which is basically like my 4-iron. So I'm expecting this to be really fast off the face. Let's just hit some and let's see how crazy it is. So, I mean, behind the ball, there's quite a lot of offset there. Obviously, these are like game improvement clubs, so more offset, stop people slicing it, that all makes sense to me. But they look so strong. Like, this genuinely doesn't look like a 6-iron. It looks like a sort of 5.5 iron, 4.5 iron. I mean, I've hit it way right. But it felt really good off the face, that, you know. That was like, that actually felt really nice, to be fair. So, first swing, ball speed, 126, not bad. Carry, 190. Yeah, there you go. That is pretty outrageous. That felt pretty good. It didn't feel like really firm and really harsh like you sort of would imagine it would. You sort of think that because these irons are so fast, it's going to sort of like shoot off the face like a rocket. But actually that was pretty good. The spin's 4,000, so it's a fraction low, but again, it's not as bad as you might think. It's still gone 90 feet in the air on the first swing, which is actually pretty good, pretty high. So although this is, you know, quite strong lofted and designed to be really fast and go a long way, those are still sort of playable numbers which would allow me to hit shots into a green and actually stop them. But let's hit a couple more. So these irons are hollow body construction, but they are filled with a new soft foam which dampens the vibrations of the strike, just to help with that feel and improve the sound. And actually, I think that's what I felt on that last shot. You know, I know the ball's coming off fast, but it doesn't feel like a crazy rocket launcher like you sort of would imagine. Oh, but we'll see. That was a terrible hit. Ball speed 124. The spin will have definitely dropped off that because it was high on the face. Carry 196. Oh my God, that is absolutely ridiculous. So poor strike, the spins dropped down there to like 2,800, which is basically unusable for a 6-iron for me personally. The height's 80 feet, carry 196, total 215. That is pretty outrageous. Let me hit a couple of good ones just for a fair comparison for this club. Yeah, I mean, that was ripped. Can't hit any better than that. It's gone really straight. They're so easy to hit, like the ball does come off them really fast. Ball speed there, 132. Carry 207. What? Total 225. If I was going to use these clubs, I probably wouldn't carry anything longer than a 6-iron because all these clubs are going to go so far that you're probably just going to create an issue at the bottom end. You're going to need a lob wedge, a sand wedge, a gap wedge, and then probably another gap wedge, and then maybe even another gap wedge before you then get to your pitching wedge. Let's hit one more. Oof, that rattled my hands a bit. Bit high on the face. Another rubbish strike. Oh, it's too cold to strike it like that. But even at a worse shot, 195 carry, I'm not really complaining. So the reason that Cobra have de-lofted these irons so much is because of their new internal adaptive weighting system. Basically, what they've been able to do is they've sort of redesigned the power bridge and they've moved the center of gravity as low as it could possibly go in this iron. And what that means is, all things being equal, the ball's going to fly higher. So in order for this iron still to work properly, they've actually had to de-loft it. So I know there's going to be people in the comments talking about, oh, they're just jacking the lofts to make them go further. But if you really understood the technology, the strengthening the lofts is a necessity because of the technology in the club head. If they didn't jack the lofts, then the ball would just go too high and not go anywhere. And it wouldn't be worth doing it. So there is actually an argument to say that they should just take the numbers off these clubs, because the 6 is just irrelevant. It doesn't mean anything anymore because the lofts are so different. But it makes sense to have stronger lofts when you've got the center of gravity so low. And Cobra have done that just because it makes it easier to launch, more forgiving, and we all could benefit from that. Okay, so the Cobra DS-Adapt Max iron, this is bigger. It's a bigger head, it's got a much wider sole, it's got more offset. And the interesting thing with these clubs is they have all the technology that we saw in just the standard DS-Adapt iron, but we actually have more loft on these clubs. So Cobra found that 30% of players in testing have actually benefited from having more loft. And that's just because they're able to hit the ball higher, get the ball to stop a bit quicker, and most amateur golfers need to hit the ball higher. So these are going to suit more people probably than the other ones. But obviously, depends on what you want out of an iron. If you're just looking for maximum distance, then it makes sense just to go for the low lofted, crazy, turbocharged DS-Adapts. But if you're looking for a little bit more height, a little bit more control, maybe swing it a bit slower, these might be better for you. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, wow, definitely higher. Be interested to see if that goes as far. It still felt really good. I like the soft foam they've put in these heads. Like, it genuinely dampens, and it sort of feels quite good. I know these irons are hot. I was 127 mile an hour ball speed, 195 carry, but I definitely preferred the flight. That one flew much higher at 105 peak height, which is pretty much about exactly where I want it. Spin, quite low, 3,700, probably slightly too low again for me, but that's pretty good. Total distance, 210. Let's hit a couple more. Okay, bit of a pull. Club speed 90, ball speed 129, pretty good. Spin 3.7 again, carry 200. Hey look, I've got no issues with these clubs. I know they're quite strong, but actually I'm getting pretty solid numbers here. It is quite a lot to look at behind the ball. Certainly compared to the standard head, it looks a lot more inviting. That more loft makes a big difference, but there is absolutely tons of offset on this club. So if you're someone who hits the ball low and to the right, maybe you're a bit of a fader and you need a bit more height, a bit more left, these clubs are really going to work for you. Cobra generally do a great job in building clubs for what people actually need, which is speed and height. You may not have ever tried Cobra before, but these are really, really high performing clubs. So I would encourage everyone to get out and give these a hit. If you're looking for more distance and more speed, then these irons are for you. Right, I'm just gonna hit a couple shots now where I go for the maximum possible distance. So I'm gonna hit one with the DS-Adapt Max and one with the just standard DS-Adapts and see which one it goes the furthest. Oh, that was pretty good. 133 ball speed, pretty tasty. Carry 202, total 215, pretty good. Height 116, pretty good that. That's gone a long way. Hey look, if I ever hit a 6-iron like that in normal real life, I'd be delighted. That's going about 15 to 20 yards further than what I normally use in my 6. Let me just hit one with the standard DS-Adapt to see which one goes the furthest. Oh God, I'm out of breath. Right, here we go. Oh, have some of that. That was an absolute rocket. You're not going to believe this. 137 ball speed, 95 club, 215 carry, 226 total. That is the longest I've ever in my life hit a 6-iron. Cobra, you've done an amazing job with this. These clubs go forever. Get out and try them. You will not be disappointed.